We are going to be talking about how you are showing up inauthentic, and we're going to help you face that music and flip the script and become your most authentic self unapologetically. So, there's a lot of pressure in society today with, let's get real, social media, because it's the new marketing form. Commercials are out, social media is in, there's all these personality types, and I hate to tell you this, you think they're your friend, but they're trying to sell you something. For example, there is a big push right now, I find on my algorithm, about the importance of travel and the life experience, and especially European travel or Costa Rica travel. I see a lot right now. I'm actually also seeing Japan travel right now a lot.
Remember
And
when it used
that's,
to be Iceland and Croatia?
yes, exactly. Their publicist apparently quit on them, and they moved on to new markets. But and actually I feel like Mexico City also is coming up and hot. And travel is great if you love that, if it like feeds your soul. But we were recently talking to a friend, and she's been traveling thinking this is what she wants in life, and in reality it's giving her anxiety. Why? Because she's not being authentic to what she really wants, really loves, really likes.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We bring this friend up a lot. She has a lot of influence in our lives, guys. But
She's imaginary. It's actually a puppet.
yeah, she's our imaginary friend, but she travels a lot. And you would hear all these great adventures she's going on, and you would think she's having the time of her life. But she always has been having a little bit of anxiety when she's on these trips, and it gets a little sticky for her. And every time she'd come back, we were like, "How'd it go? Were you anxious? Did you have anxiety?" And she'd say, "Oh, it got better this time, but I still had some." On her last trip, she was in Europe, she was in Italy, like, they had to leave the trip abruptly, and she said, "I realize I don't like going to a foreign country. I don't know the language. I don't know the people. I don't know the customs. I don't know the culture. I don't like it. I do it because I think I'm supposed to do it because that's what everybody does, but I actually don't like it. And I am happier staying in the United States, going to a tropical island and traveling, that kind of a thing, than I am doing all this European travel. And I'm not going to do it anymore." And she said, and as soon as I realized that, she said, my whole body had a release. She said, I talked to my husband and he agreed with me that neither one of us really enjoyed it, even though they're very well traveled. And she said, it was just like I came home to myself.
So
And
good.
so it got me thinking, and I floated this concept out of how that's a form of inauthenticity. When we are doing things because we feel like there's some sort of societal pressure or
Hmm.
whatever it is to
Hmm.
do this thing, we don't necessarily realize, right, that we're conforming, that we're doing
Right.
something that doesn't actually
Align.
align. Yeah. We don't
Yeah.
want really, like, if it were just us, we wouldn't do that thing. But because
Right.
everybody tells us that's the thing we should be doing, we
Right.
do it. And then we don't understand why A, it's not working. We don't like it. We have anxiety. We have a bunch of stress. It doesn't make any sense to us. Like,
Right.
really, we're showing up inauthentically in our own lives in a million different ways.
And I do think it makes sense to try it. Like if you're at a bus stop talking to another mom and they loved this trip they took, then naturally you're going to be like, oh, maybe we should take that trip. Maybe we should have a similar experience. And that makes sense. But if you go and you find you're not enjoying it like you thought you would, or you're having a negative emotion like anxiety or fear or whatever, that is your body's signal telling you that is not being your most authentic self. And it's okay to just be in that moment with that other mom at the bus stop and just be listening and excited about their journey. And don't make it about you. Don't make it about yourself. Enjoy their story. And then you continue to do your own way, the way you prefer.
Well, yes, yes. And you might be listening to that mom at the bus stop or the friend who's remodeling their house. And they're getting, the new kitchen or the new bathroom. And you think, well, my bathroom needs remodeled, but you really don't like me, for instance, I hate doing home improvements. I hate you're laughing because you know, like I'm like, I hate it. I hate to do any of that stuff. And then, you're doing a remodel, our fake friend doing a remodel. And we're like, I'm over here like, I'm still like 1990s in my bathroom and I really don't care, but I feel pressure to update it, right? Selling my house, I don't think, I don't know, anytime soon. I just don't feel the pressure or the need to do it, except everybody around me is doing it.
That's
So then
good.
when they come over to my house, I worry, well, what do they think? I've got this 1990s bathroom that I live in this house 100% of the time. They're here 10 to 20%, not even of the time, and I'm worried about remodeling my bathroom so that they don't judge me,
Right.
you know?
Right. And the big takeaway, I think, in this is you are putting pressure on you. And
Yeah.
therefore, the only person that can take that pressure away is you. And truthfully, if somebody is going to judge you for not remodeling your bathroom or not remodeling your kitchen or not taking this trip to Europe with your family, that's on them and they're probably not a good friend.
Well, it's a whole nother layer of inauthenticity because now do you have these friends that would judge you for that kind of a thing? And is
Yeah.
that an authentic friendship?
Right.
A friend that would
Right.
judge you for that? That's not an authentic friendship because an authentic friendship is like, you do you, boo.
Right.
I don't care because you
Yes.
do a million different things I don't want to do.
Yes. And I
Right.
love you just as you are.
I
Yeah.
love you just as you are. I don't love you because you're bougie and take a bunch of trips or have granite countertops. Like, that's not
Right.
why I love you. And if you want to have color in your house, have color in your house, even if it's not the thing right now. Who
Right.
cares? You do you. And I agree. Try the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you're listening to that friend at the bus stop and you're thinking, "Oh, I've never been to
You're
Europe.
curious. Yeah.
I always go on a lake trip, or I always go to Florida, or I always go to Hawaii. I never go to Europe. Maybe I should go to Europe." And you are genuinely curious, then the next trip, go to Europe. However, if you always go to Hawaii, or you always go to the lake, or you always go to Florida, and you love that,
Mhm.
you love it. And you hear your friend go, "Well, I just got back from Croatia and it was beautiful," or "the Dolomites were amazing," or whatever. And you're like, maybe I should go to the Dolomites. But your heart says, I'd rather go to the lake. I'd rather go to Florida. Listen to your heart. Just because it sounds interesting doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right. That's
Is
right.
it still interesting 6 months later? Or when push comes to shove, you're like, I really would rather go to Hawaii,
Mhm.
but I should book the trip to Croatia because that's what everybody's doing. Don't do the should. Anytime should comes into it,
Right.
don't do it.
And that is so like high school all over again, right? Trying to fit in. And it's a tale as old as time. Like back in caveman days, we needed to be in the tribe because that's where safety was. It
Yes.
took a group to hunt, to gather, to procreate. Like you needed a group. And now we don't have those difficulties, threats to our safety. So we don't have to conform as much. And another example I want to bring up in this, if everybody else's kid is doing 50 million sports and you as a
Ugh.
family like downtime and you like to play chalk in the front yard and you like to jump on the trampoline and you don't want to be driving kids everywhere all the time, guess what? It's okay to not conform.
Preach. Oh my gosh. Because guess what? I even think as parents, sometimes the activities we steer our kids towards are inauthentic
Mm,
because we think, oh, well, they should try soccer.
yeah,
Everybody's from soccer. They're going to be left
yeah,
out if they don't try soccer or
right,
lacrosse or basketball or, put it in there. But they really like this musical instrument. But is that
right.
kind of being a band nerd? I don't know. They're not going to be cool. Like, will they not fit in? Anytime you, your child, your spouse, your friend is living in their authenticity,
Yeah,
they are magnetic. It's when
yes,
they aren't that you should be worried. You should not be
right.
worried if the thing that they love or that you love is different. That actually makes you interesting. It
Yes,
makes you attract to you the people who will love all of those things about you.
So true. And like, if you're for everyone, you're really for no one. You know what I mean? That's that personality type that's just like, yeah, I like that too. Yeah, I like that too. And they have no identity. They don't even know who they are, what they like, what they're going for. But if you're going to get really specific and run in your lane, and I'd have to guess if it's your authentic self, you're going to naturally be better at that thing. If it's baking, if it's jogging, if it's throwing parties, whatever it is, you're going to naturally enjoy it. You're going to naturally be good at it. You'll attract more people that are into that thing also.
And you bring up a really good point, Marcy, because I think there's probably a lot of, we'll use the archetype of Tammy. There's a lot of Tammys out there who are maybe going, well, I've for so long done these things that are just
Mm,
what society says I should do. I don't
right.
even know what I like anymore. Kind of like that
Right.
Runaway Bride. You remember that movie with
Yes.
Richard
Yes.
Gere and Julia Roberts?
Roberts.
And
Yeah.
she didn't know how she liked her eggs, you know?
Right.
And he was
Mm,
like, how do you like them? And every time she dated a new guy or had a new fiance, she liked eggs the way he ate his eggs.
yes.
She
Can't
had
we?
no idea how she liked her eggs.
I can 1,000,000% think of people, I call them chameleons, whoever they date, they conform. Like if the person loves shopping, they're like, I love shopping. If the person likes the color blue, they're like, that's my favorite color, blue. It's like they don't even know who they are in their most authentic self to embrace that. And I think that's got to be the step one is tap into that guy, that girl, and who are they and what do they like. And it's still okay to try new things if you're figuring out new things, but it's so important to try to like put yourself a little bit first and just like be with yourself first.
Yeah. And yes, absolutely. Like in that movie, it's a great example. She ended up pulling away from everybody. And she was just like, what kind of music do I like? And so she
Mhm.
tested them all out to listen and try to figure it out. What kind of eggs do I like? She cooked them a million different ways. And then she figured out which ones she liked. And what hobbies do I like? She didn't know because she kept, and we do that with friendships.
Mhm.
We do that with our spouses. We do that with whoever we're dating. I mean, we do it in a million different ways. And then we go, nobody really knows me. Nobody really gets me. I feel so alone. I feel
Mm,
like I'm wrong. You know, that's where I think a lot of like worthiness comes in because you feel like you're constantly fighting without even realizing it. Your natural inclinations to fit in, to
yeah,
be what you think you're supposed to be,
right.
and you get sick and you're sad and you're depressed and you feel alone or you have anxiety
Right?
or whatever. And your body is literally trying to tell you you are not living your
Yes.
truth. It's
Yes.
trying to wake you up to see that because
Yes.
you aren't seeing it.
So true. True story. One of my clients, I won't use names, but she was engaged to this guy. And she literally said it felt like a freaking veil over her when they were engaged. Like colors weren't as vibrant. Like she had
Mhm.
gotten divorced from this other guy. She was like a single mom, really kind of difficult situation. And this guy, she said it just felt like blurry and murky and not good. And then I forget why she called off the engagement. I don't know if someone said something to her about it or what, but she said the minute she called it off, it was like clarity again.
Wow.
I
Yeah. So
know.
listen to the clues because the clues are there,
Yeah.
right? It's that upset tummy. It's that pause before the yes.
Yes.
It's that constricted feeling even when you're agreeing to something.
Yes.
And the sleepless nights, the things that are
Mhm.
haunting you in the middle of the night and they're running
Mhm.
through your head, those are all your clues because they're there. And so what do you do, Marcy? Like, what do you do to stay in your authentic, to not conform? Because there is so much pressure
Mhm. Mhm.
to do that.
Yeah.
Even in, I'll give you, even with us, exercising, working out,
Yeah.
how we eat. So every day we're like Marco Poloing with each other and we're like, oh, I just took a walk, or oh, I'm going to go do this workout, or oh, I'm eating my salmon bowl, or whatever.
Yeah.
And what if I wanted to eat a hot dog every day? I would feel pressure to not talk about that because we talk about healthy eating so much. So
Interesting.
if I mean, I'm still gonna eat the hot dog. No,
I was
I'm
gonna
just
say
using that as an example.
I would never judge you for eating a hot dog,
Girl,
just for
I'm
the
gonna eat
record.
the hot dog, and I do. I enjoy a hot dog. However, I do. It's who I am who I am. But what I'm saying in that is it does give you pause. Like, oh, everybody's
Sure.
talking about how they eat so healthy.
Right.
And
Right.
I just hoovered 2 hot dogs last night. I didn't have that protein, right? I didn't do it.
Right.
And so I don't wanna be with friends that I can't
Yeah.
admit I had the hot dog or
Yeah.
the Dairy Queen peanut
Right.
butter parfait. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because
this brings up a few good points, I think. One, you don't have to tell everyone everything. Like, this is not
true.
dear diary. If you want to share about a hot dog, even if you're feeling guilty about the hot dog and you need your friends to be like, girl, it's fine. I ate cheese fries the other day. Like, that's fine. But do not be like a chronic monologue, or let's get real, you will not have a lot of friends because
It's
not many
true.
people can like tolerate that. Okay. So I don't think it's inauthentic to not share every detail of your life. I really don't.
100%. I think it's when you're lying. You're either lying, it's
Yes.
inauthentic, and or you're actually like, I'm gonna eat the salmon bowl even though I want the hot dog because I don't want my friends to judge me. You're being
Mm,
inauthentic. Like if you are making a different decision because you're worried about what people think about you, that's
yes.
inauthentic.
But if you're making the salmon bowl decision, just to stick with the same example, because you want to hook up future Marcy with a healthier body, okay, that's the right intention. That's the right move. I'm glad we brought up the food thing because I have a really important point that some of our listeners might not know. So I think one indicator in your authentic self is if you're like maybe not getting the results you want. Like let's say you want to get more muscle or burn more fat or lose weight or whatever. If you're eating certain things or working out in a certain way and still not getting your results, that actually might not be what's authentic to your body. And I run a social media account for this gentleman that is like of a different culture. And part of our content is saying like this culture actually they're at a higher risk for diabetes and heart disease and all these things. So they cannot eat the same things like a Caucasian American can and get the same result.
Mhm.
So to me, if you're doing certain things, not getting the results you want, then you might have to switch up those certain things. And I can give this example like I'm half Mexican, all my aunts and uncles are diabetic, and I just know like white flour, white sugar, processed carbs are really not at my core my friend. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like I know if I want certain results, I need to take certain steps. And that's different for every physical body. So I would challenge you to do some research. And I even know there's like genetic testing and you can see like ethnicity wise what you are, what foods, many years ago your ancestors ate that served them or didn't and so on.
Well, this brings up a really good point because um I read a book, Outlive. The book had good information. And one of
Okay.
the things that they did in this book um, is they were looking at longevity and how do
Okay.
we take medicine to medicine 2.0
Mm,
and no 3.0. We're in 2.0 right now to
okay.
3.0, which is you go into really like at 30 years old, you're looking at your genetic markers when you're 60, 65, and you at 30 are starting to implement the things that 65-year-old you needs because by the time you're 65, it's too late. The damage is
Okay.
done because of these
Okay.
genetic markers. Anyway, so the way they got to all of that is they were following these octarians, and octarians are people who live to be over 100 years old that are very
Yes.
healthy. He calls
Yes.
it a marginal decade. They don't really have this prolonged marginal decade where they're sick, they're dying literally a slow death for 10 years. They're very sickly. They're like literally healthy until they're dead. And
Wow.
so these people that they followed, and there was one common denominator amongst all of them. They all had really crappy diets. They ate poorly, they
Wow.
smoked, they
What?
drank, right?
These are the Octarians?
These people that live to be the oldest living people. Like, I don't know, this woman. So it was funny. This Parisian woman that they followed, I think she lived to be maybe, I don't know that she might have been like 119 or something.
Okay. Wow.
Smoked until she was like 117.
Oh
Stopped
my
smoking and died
gosh.
2 years later.
That is wild.
Makes no sense. But my grandmother was very heavy. My grandmother was well like 350 pounds the majority of her life.
Okay.
Lived to be 96. This woman did not
Wow.
make healthy choices.
Wow.
So what they realized though is that genetically these things did not impact them. They were
Oh.
abnormal, these
Okay.
people. So they never
Yes.
had to watch what they ate. They just didn't have the
Wow.
genetic markers that
Yeah.
food would impact that for them, right?
Wow.
And
That's
so they said,
crazy.
what were those genetic markers and how do we, like normal people who couldn't get away with doing those things,
Yeah.
how do we replicate those genetic markers to be at the same level of health? And that's where they took it to medicine 3.0. So what do you do at
Okay.
30 to get those markers to where these people's were at their age?
Naturally.
Right,
Yeah.
naturally. But in that, these people were authentic to themselves eating all along, right?
Wow.
They were doing what felt authentic to them, but not to any detriment. So I think when you look at, not to say choose these unhealthy lifestyles, but what I
Right.
do think is like for me, I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, which I think my grandmother had. I think my mother has it.
Yeah.
I just think it's a genetic thing that we've carried without knowing it. And I just happened into it because I had fertility issues. And so
Sure.
I got diagnosed with it. But what came of that is I produce an amount of glucose that I'm not diabetic. My body actually thinks I overproduce or I underproduce glucose. So it's
Okay.
constantly generating, but it's also creates
Wow.
cravings for me. It creates
Wow.
sugar cravings nonstop for me, which is
But you're
why
not
we're so fat.
diabetic.
No, no, I'm not
Wow.
diabetic. And I was never even close to being diabetic, even at over 300 pounds.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing, right? So really, it impacted me from a hormonal standpoint. It impacted me in a lot of different ways. But really, from a health standpoint, if you just looked at me from a health standpoint on paper, I looked great.
Wow.
But I have to really go, okay, I crave sugar, but I know I have too much sugar. And that's why I crave sugar because my body doesn't realize it and I overproduce it. And
Right.
so, even though it seems like that's authentic to me, I know I have this other thing. So, what's
Right.
authentic to me is to say, okay, this sugar craving is something I have. That's authentic. The better choice is have something that has sugar to crave, to squelch the craving with like a protein source. And so you figure out
Gotcha.
what is authentic, but you don't fight it. Because if I'm fighting it all the time, I'm going to lose. Then I'm going to binge out. I'm going to overeat. So our
Right.
bodies are craving what it thinks they need, is the point,
Hmm.
right?
Yes. I feel like the term intuitive eating is hot right now.
And that's how I eat. I don't want to use the term because but I eat, and this does not on paper sound like somebody who's lost 175 pounds.
Right.
Almost daily, I
Okay.
eat sourdough bread with peanut butter, 2
Okay.
pieces almost daily. So I'm eating
Love
bread
that.
and I'm eating very fatty, high calorie peanut butter.
Is
Sometimes
it
I
a
put
thick
jelly on it.
spread? A pretty thick spread on there?
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
generous with it. Um, I probably ate that 3, 4 times a week through my weight loss journey, and I would drop weight. I would drop weight.
Wow.
Now, that's hard to believe, right? But that was a
Sure.
safety food for me. Do you know what wasn't a safety food for me? I
What?
couldn't eat bananas. If I ate a banana, I one banana and I would gain weight. I
Wow.
could not eat
Wow.
bananas. Tuna. So if I made like a little thing of tuna fish, which I didn't make it with mayo and stuff, it was with like mustard and all the thing, I'd put on weight with tuna.
Wow.
I can't eat
This
tuna.
and this is such a great point. Like any personality on social media that's like tried these foods, blah blah blah. Go for it if you want, but just be the scientist gathering the data. Like, it's not like A plus B equals C. You know what I mean? It's like,
Every body is different. And what was happening with me
yes.
is if I only ate the protein and I didn't give my body the sugar, it was storing all that protein and turning it into sugar because it thought it needed sugar.
Wow, that's crazy.
But when I give it the sugar, it burns it right up. It just burned it right up. So the
Interesting.
key was, and this is what I had to intuitively learn because I need a healthy body, right? I need to have the protein. I need to have the muscle. I need to be able
Right.
to get that. So supplements ended up being something I had to figure out, like which
Yeah.
ones work, which ones don't. I'm not hopping on the supplement. That's another area where we get inauthentic.
Right.
Everybody's doing this supplement, or your best friend's doing that supplement. And you think, or you go to the hormone doctor and they say, take all these supplements, and you think you need to take them all. No, you don't need to take them all. Get your blood
Right.
work done and just figure out, what do I need? And can I take one pill or do I have to take 10? Like,
Right. Right. And
make it
that's,
easy.
yes. That's a great point too. I feel like right now there's this huge run of like AI technology, and people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to ask it what I should take for my hormone imbalance, or this or that, or this or that. And after I got my hormones tested, because I was struggling with some like anxiety and anger leading up to my cycle, they were like, actually, Marcy, you're making the perfect amount of all of this. You're working out too hard. And so after I quit that, my body dropped like 8 pounds, no problem. I wasn't starving myself. Like, it just happened because my body was not meant to work out 5 to 7 days a week.
Okay, that is a really great example of inauthenticity because what do we think we're supposed to do, right?
Just right,
Even
burn
in
it down.
Outlive, Dr. Peter Attia is like, you need, I mean, he's got this insane workout schedule. And it's not like he's in the gym lifting heavy. It's like you've got to do all of this balance stuff and you've got to do this and you've got to do rucking and you got to do, I mean, it is, you need a full time job to do his workout routine. That
Right,
would not work for you. You
right,
would be an anxiety, rage-filled mess a week,
right.
a month doing that.
Yes,
And so how many of your
yes.
relationships would be impacted by that? Or the
Right.
quality of your life would be impacted by that.
And
But
some
if you read
people
the
might
book, you
have,
would think.
right, some people might have the body, like I have a neighbor, and I think she works out really hard 5 to 7 days a week, and it works for her beautifully. So this is again like, try something for a while, see if it works, then try something else for a while and see if it works. I just had a really great conversation with one of my clients who is TikTok famous, and she's a physical therapist. And she was saying, her name is Wendy Chorney, check her out. But she was saying, oh, are you still doing yoga, Marcy? Because like my lower back had been hurting from doing some like deadlift kind of things. And I was like, not as much. And she was like, we don't eat from one food group, Marcy. We cannot only do Pure Bar or only do weights or only do cardio. We need all the food groups of exercise too. And I think that's right. Like flexibility matters, strength matters,
Right.
balance matters, and so it should be a nice variety.
And I would, because I struggle a little bit with like I get bored. So if I try to do, so like joining a place and being like, well,
Okay.
I'm paying all this money, I should probably go do this, right? So if you're doing just like
Yes.
Pure Bar or like just Pilates or
Right.
whatever, because you can't afford, I mean, even if you can't afford, it's expensive to
Sure.
have 3 or 4 different memberships at 3 or 4
Right.
specific styles of studios, right? And so you go and you feel like, well, I'm paying for this. I got to go 5 days a week. And so I'm just going to go do Pilates 5 days a week. And then you're tired of it and you're exhausted from it and your body's not responding anymore. And it's feeling like a chore. Okay, stop. Pause the membership. Now go
Yes.
try something else. Or instead of going 5 days a week, just go 3 days a week. You're still going to make, you're still breaking even on the deal. And the other
Right.
2 days, do yoga or take a walk or
Try
do
something
weights
different.
at home. But
That's right.
don't think you have to do this one thing all the
Right.
time. And I say to women all the time when they're like, well, how did you lose your weight? I'm like, you should be, that's not the right question. The question isn't how did I lose my weight? The question is how did I lose my weight for good? How did I keep it off? Because every woman already knows how their body responds to lose weight. You've done it a million times, right? But we keep yo-yoing like, "Oh, well, I should do it Oprah's way. Well, oh, I should do it Marcy's way. Oh, I should do it Peggy's way." And we keep trying all these different ways. And so we're confused. We're not doing intuitively what we know works. We already know how to lose weight. If I asked you, Marcy, how do you drop 5 pounds quick? You will be able to tell me in a heartbeat how you do that. Doing it my way is not authentic to you. The question is, why do you keep having to lose the same 5 pounds?
Yeah,
Right?
interesting.
Why do you
Yeah,
have to, why do you keep putting it back on and then have to lose it? Because you aren't
right.
doing authentically the things that
Yes.
make sense for you,
Yeah, I
that
think
you
that's
can
good.
sustain.
Yes. Okay, so let's come up with like 3 to 5 tips. If people are listening to this and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't been authentic and like I've been just signing my kids up for every sport under the sun because that's what Susie does at the bus stop or whatever." Let's come up with like 3 to 5 ways to help the human that's trying to tap into their authentic self and like listen to their own body. And it could be
Okay.
all the things. Okay. Actually, we're gonna do 3 to 6. We're gonna go back and forth.
Oh, okay, good. I like that. I love when we do the
Good.
back and forth. Okay. We
Okay, good.
usually only end up on two because we get stuck on one thing. So sorry, listener. Okay, let's go.
Okay. I'm gonna say first, be a scientist and tap into when you have like that gut wrenching feeling in your stomach or like the overwhelm or tightness in your chest. And like try to find when your physical body's reacting to something. Like maybe you're driving to carpool and you like hate this, or maybe you're racing around all weekend and you're going insane. Pause and just examine what that thing is you're going to go do and how your body's having a visceral reaction to it.
Okay. I am going to say, ask whose voice is this in my head? Is this something I've always wanted to do, or is this something I feel like I should do? And
Yes.
if the answer is I feel like I should do it, that doesn't necessarily mean it's inauthentic because you might be being a scientist. But pause and really sit with it before you make the decision and say, do I really want to have this beige picture behind me because I love beige? Or do I really want something blue and green and give that tropical vibe? And if I really love the tropical vibe, why did I choose the beige? Or why
Mhm.
am I even contemplating the beige? Ask yourself those questions. So if it's not a hell yes right away,
That's
it's
right.
a pause.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I am going to challenge you to when you wake up in the morning, which your cortisol is the highest, for 10 minutes, no cell phone. Like journal, drink some water, rehydrate, just be with yourself, be with your own thoughts, take a moment. Don't just immediately start ingesting opinions of others. I would say take 10 minutes and also consider like unfollowing people that make you kind of feel bad.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Unfollowing people is always a good one. I feel like you put like three in there, I'm going to say, because I had ideas and then you're like, oh, and then journal. And I'm like, damn it, I was going to say journal. Um,
We can break these down more. I like it. You go with journal. I'll say 10 minutes, no cell phone in the morning.
okay. I am going to say journal.
Oh.
Things are coming. What? No, I'm going to say journal because if you just thought dump, like, okay, top, like right up at the top and say, okay, picture. We're just going to go back to that one. All right. What do I love? What inspires me when I am in a place and I feel expansive and I feel at home and it really lights me up and it relaxes me? What is that environment like? And tap into places you've been and then just start to list all the things about those places and then look for the common denominators. And does
Love
the
it.
beige picture fit that? Or does the tropical one or a color you didn't even consider come up? Or a look you didn't even consider come up.
That's nice. I like that. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna just go back to that when I had 3 and 1 there. I'm gonna say,
We're gonna
okay,
circle back.
we're gonna circle it back. I'm gonna say unfollow or swipe fast through people trying to tell you what to do with your life. Like just whoop, whoop, because basically you're gonna reset your algorithm. And we all know an algorithm, maybe we don't all know this, but basically it's just going to spoon feed you what it thinks you like. So if you're on like a toxic um government hate
Political. Oh my
situation,
God. I got in a
yes,
bad political thing and I couldn't get out of it. Remember that? I was like raged for days.
it's gonna just keep spoon feeding. And I don't like to think of the algorithm as like an evil trickster. I like to think of it like, oh, she likes this. Let's give her more, you know? But it goes for anything. If your algorithm is saying like you gotta travel, gotta travel, gotta travel, or like you're a wine mom, you're a wine mom, you're whatever it is, swipe past it. One of my favorite podcasters is an interior design group. Dear Alice is what it's called. But she had said like she had gotten on this algorithm with like all these inspirational quotes and words, and she really wanted more interior design stuff. And so she'd be like, don't read it, swipe quickly, don't read it. And then she reset the algorithm. So that would be my challenge to you. Reset your algorithm, unfollow people that are pressuring you. And yeah, that's my tip 3.
And I'm going to just add a quick note on that. It is remarkable how fast your algorithm will respond because
Good.
I got in that whole thing and I just started blocking people. I just started like, nope,
Good.
unfollow, block, unfollow, block.
Yeah.
And then somehow I got a sailing thing, a family sailing, and then I clicked on that. And then I started to like watch theirs. And before I knew it, now I've got like 5 different like sailing accounts. These people are out traveling the world on their sailboats. And
Yeah.
I love it. Like that's been one of my dreams, not to like live on a sailboat, but to do those kind of trips
I love it.
forever. And now my algorithm finally matches that. And it
You're
makes me
like,
so happy.
yay.
I'm
That's awesome.
excited
That's
to like
awesome.
look at my phone instead of getting rage filled, you know?
That's good. That's really good. Awesome.
Okay. Stop surrounding yourself with people who make you feel like you should be a different version of yourself than you are.
Mic drop. Say that again, Peggy.
Stop surrounding yourself with people who make you feel like you need to be a different version of yourself than you are.
So good. So true.
Anytime you leave an event and you don't leave lit up on the inside, but questioning yourself, that's your clue. That's your clue.
Yeah.
Start to explore that. Remember how we just talked about journaling? Get your journal out.
Yeah.
Put at the top, why did I feel that way? And
Right.
just write, what were the feelings I had? What made me feel that way?
Yeah.
And if it's the people you're surrounding yourself with, it's just like your algorithm,
Yeah.
right? You
And
got to
you
start
don't,
surrounding yourself with different people.
right. And just because someone isn't your person, it doesn't mean you hate them or you wish ill on them or they're the worst. It's okay. Like people are allowed to be different and they're just not your people. Nothing's gone wrong. Nothing's wrong with you or them. No one's better or worse than anyone else. Like just
But
keep
just know
going.
it, be aware. And
That's right.
maybe it's just a slow fade. So now you might still do the thing, like whatever it
Yes.
is that you do with them on a but maybe now you don't do the extra things. And you
I
find
love
other
that.
people and you start testing it out and you're like, I didn't realize that I don't really love drinking, but I hang out with a lot of people who drink.
Right. Right.
So I feel like I should drink, but every day I wake up and then that morning after, and I wish I wouldn't have done it. And I question that. And so I need to start to surround myself with people who do other things than go to bars or hang out at each other's houses and
I
throw
love it.
parties and just try it on until you find the people that match you.
I love
They're out.
that so much. Yeah, that's good. Awesome. Well, I think that's a great spot to end today. I feel
All right,
great.
guys. Hey, if you really enjoyed this, drop a comment. Let us know what really spoke to you. We get like a lot of guys who really think we're like feminist here. So let's counter them. Let's tell them that we're actually not crazy because we're empowering women.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so show them that you are a strong, powerful woman who has authenticity.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like if a guy is like hating on this, like you want a confident, strong woman that is going to know herself and know what to tell you she likes and doesn't like. And that's really important.
Yeah. And hey, guess what? You can always unfollow us, dudes. Okay.
That's right.
We don't need you. We don't need you. You've got this.
You've so got that.
All right. That's our shift for today.
Go live, laugh, and do one bold thing before the next episode drops.
Follow us at No More BullShift and keep the conversation going.
Because if you can't laugh about it,
You probably still need to shift it.